I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you pray with me? God, as we convene another session of the Board of Alderman for the Carl Junction community, we pray for unity and cooperation amongst us. Help us to work together harmoniously with respect for differing viewpoints and shared commitment to the well-being of our community. God, I would ask for wisdom and strength and courage for the new board members, and I pray for wisdom and discernment for our new mayor. We ask this all in your son's most holy name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Rick. Next is approval of the agenda. I would like to move item 9, which is discussion about internet services, to immediately after public forum. So if I get a motion to do that.
So be it.
Motion by Don Allen, second by Roger Spencer, to move item 9 up to item 6, actually, right after public forum. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 8 in the affirmative. With no objections, that is now being moved up. Thank you. Now I'd like to approve the amended agenda.
I'll make a motion, we approve the second as amended.
Sorry, motion by Roger Spencer, second by by David Pyle. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. All those, okay, 8 in the affirmative, none against. The agenda is approved. Next is the consent agenda, which is approval of the minutes of the previous meeting on April the 1st and approval of disbursements. Any comments or discussions about the consent agenda?
Yeah, I've got a change for the minutes, please. If we could change under new business, the verbiage to state that we are partnering with Briarbrook to purchase fireworks, not making a donation, please.
I think it's an excellent idea. I didn't catch it, but I think that's.
Yeah.
We don't make donations.
Yeah.
And I didn't read that, so I'm sorry.
Good.
And then I just had a couple questions on disbursements, please. Tyler transactions, that's for the water.
The inside piece?
Yes.
Yes.
Has that been going okay with Tyler?
Yeah.
Okay. Mystic Tetramolly. Jay, is that you? From Atwood's Mystic Tetramolly.
Grace.
Okay, thank you. And then Total Electronics quarterly monitoring.
It's for our largest distributors.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have. Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Holly Levine, second by Roger Spencer, to approve the consent agenda with the change to the minutes. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 8 in the affirmative. Okay. The consent agenda is approved. Next is public forum. Anyone wish to speak at public forum? Okay, let me read this little sheet here then. All persons wishing to speak to the mayor and board of Alderman during the public comment portion of the meeting should come forward one at a time and stand at the podium, then state your name and address and subject matter you wish to comment upon. All comments should be directed to the mayor in a civil manner. Comments are limited to 5 minutes unless the mayor or board of Alderman grants additional time. It is the mayor's responsibility to maintain certain these rules are followed to maintain order and decorum. If you have a question, the mayor and board of Alderman may of course provide an immediate response. However, the mayor and board of Alderman may also provide no response or response at a later time as they deem appropriate. Now, who's ever first to the podium, run up there.
Can I take her? Hi, I'm Chevelle Auber, 616 Locust Drive. I just wanted to thank Rick, Mark, and LaDonna for your service for all these years. You guys have been awesome. Through the time that you've been here, you've gone through a tornado, COVID, and a downturn in police force, which was really hard to overcome. You guys have all, along with your board, done an excellent job. And I just wanted to thank you for your service and your leadership and your skills at wanting to make this community a better place. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Tara Miller, 132 Briarbrook Drive. Good evening, Mayor and Councils. My name is Tara Miller. I am here to ask for your support in installing a properly sized water line at our community soccer fields. This is item number 8 on your agenda this evening. Right now, we have no way to water the fields, none at all. So a few weeks into the season and we are already turning most of it into dust. That creates unsafe conditions for kids and it hurts the quality of play. The school district generously donated a 200-foot irrigation hose. Since they no longer have a grass field, they have been turfed now. It was donated to the city when they heard about our youth field problems down there. And the hose itself is currently being stored down at the fields at the Lakeside Pavilion storage. We are excited and ready to put it to use, but we can't without a water line that can support it. So soccer is more than just a sport or a game here in Carl Junction. It brings families together, it keeps our kids active, and it strengthens our community. So upgrading the water line is more than just about grass. It's about investing in a better quality of life for our residents and their kids. So I'd like to thank you all for your time, for your consideration, and your service towards it.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak at public forum? We'll be talking about that later. Yes.
Good evening, my name is Richard Housley, 29124 Imperial Road. Has it ever been discussed a sidewalk on Fur Road? Like down by the Casey's?
On Fur Road or on Bartlett Drive?
Fur Road.
Fur Road?
Like from, I don't know what's in the city boundary, like Silver Oak to Lowman, is that within the city?
Yeah.
There was an incident there the other day.
Not the Lone Elm, is it? Yeah, it is, all the way to Lone Elm. Yeah.
On Elm to Peachtree,
Yeah.
basically.
And it's just crazy busy down there all the time. There's skateboards, bicycles and everything. Could it ever be considered to build a sidewalk down there?
Do we know anything about the stormwater? Would it that affect it on that side?
Yes, it does, and we would have to have it looked at.
The problem's not putting a sidewalk in, the problem is taking care of the stormwater.
Right. There was just an incident the other day, and I don't know if there could be signs out for pedestrians, the flies, children, or best case scenario, a sidewalk that would go down
Yeah.
there. So, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, we can look and see what it would take, can't we, Steve? Okay. Anyone else like to speak at public forum? Last chance for public forum then. Very well then, we'll move right along. And we'll now we discussion to provide internet service to city parks.
This is, as you know, a continuation from the other day. We've got Dave and Rodney from Optic and we're down. Oh, there he is. Adam is an IT guy, so.
My name is Dave Silver, I'm General Manager of Optic Communications, and we're here to ask whatever questions you need about the park service. We currently have service to the parks. I think we've got it to every building, every park, and probably every water well. There's 16 different locations we service. So what questions do you have for me, for us?
So I think you guys know I brought this up last week about providing internet service to our public properties and allowing our youth organizations to hook up to those and using those for festivals and events that we have in town. Optic was really gracious and proactive. They reached out to me like the next day after that meeting to talk to me. They've been wonderful to work with and explaining everything to me. I sent that email out to everybody. I assume you got that. So they have come up with a solution for us why we kind of sort out what we want to do with this. They are gonna bring in their portable unit, temporary unit, whatever it's called, to Lakeside Park to provide access for the CJSC to get their cameras hooked up out there. We know we've had a lot of vandalism out there and a lot of issues, so hopefully that'll help resolve that. They're gonna let the farmers market vendors hook up to that to be able to accept their card readers on there. So I am very thankful about that. We still will need to come up with a solution for Frank Dean and the BYA to get their cameras hooked up. They were great with answering questions I had about a public network. So that is something that we will definitely need to discuss more, whether that would be in full council or committee. But that will be a big decision to allow public access on there.
The farmer's market, we put in a different OT where, so we can run 2 different ports out to it. So it won't be on the city system. And then when we do the festival, the Bluegrass Festival, we use our own system, bring it down, set it up temporarily to feed the parks so the vendors all have access to it. That's just part of one of the things we do on our own to contribute to the city cost. Yes.
What would be the monthly charge to the city for your equipment to run these every month?
We have an agreement with the city that we provide service free for the first 10 on, in appendix. I think you guys have seen that on the original contract. The additional ones is instead of charging a business, we charge a residential rate of $65 a month.
And that includes the equipment.
Yes.
Yeah, so right now, we've got their equipment down at Frank Dean. They're not charging us an equipment fee for that. And I know we've got some other equipment around town that is there, so they're not currently charging for the equipment. But yeah, I did send that list to everybody, so I think that's something that we should discuss in committee, and then come up with some solutions going forward.
We'll be happy to answer any questions anytime we can and help any way. We want to be part of the community, so just let us know what we need to do. The next step is tolerance.
Anything else for Dave?
Guess not. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks, Rodney.
Thank you.
Next, we'll move on to discussion of implementation of traffic impact fees on future developments.
This came about in a discussion with Kurt and engineer with OWN, and it tying back into the cost of road updates, like the roundabout or whatever is going to happen down at Fur Road. So we talked about this traffic impact fees that we could get attached to developments when when a developer comes in, brings, a plat to us, it's so much per lot or anything. So I'll let Kurt explain.
Yeah, Kurt Higgins, Alderman Mark Associates, and what prompted this was we got Foxfire Plat 7 preliminary plat submitted for review, and I immediately sent an email back saying, hey, we're not going to. I don't think the city's going to approve this until we get the road finished that goes through Plat 6 out to Peace Church Road. They put in that construction entrance, but it never got finished, and I didn't know why that was. So the own engineer and Shubert Mitchell requested a meeting with Steve and I. We met, and so we got to find out, hey, why is this road not being finished? Well, it's because they got in trouble with EPA because that was an EPA cleanup site, and they weren't even supposed to put that temporary road in. So now they're waiting for EPA to do their cleanup before they can finish that road, which who knows when that's going to happen. So then there was also a proposal to push a road out to Joplin Street, because we requested that to release the traffic on Barbary Drive. So I asked them where they were with that. They decided that's too expensive. They're not going to go forward with that development. So I said, well, if we don't have any resolution to decrease traffic, I don't know if the city's going to approve any more plats. And so the developer asked, are there any options? And I just threw out, and this hasn't been brought up to you until tonight, maybe we could do a traffic impact fee, such that each lot, they have to pay a certain dollar amount to the city that would go to improving traffic, such as the intersection of Barbary and Fur Road. During the public meeting we had just a month ago, some of the residents complained about all the construction traffic that goes through Briarbrook, and they tore up the road. You heard the name of the road, Steve?
Murray Lane.
Murray Lane, and so we know that needs to be rebuilt.
Yeah.
So we did some just off the cuff, quick estimate what it would cost to improve Murray Lane, and tried to assess, okay, if we took the cost to improve that, and assessed it all to Plat 7, what would that add up to? And rough numbers is about $5,000 per lot. And so Steve asked the developer, is that something you guys would support? And we didn't really get much pushback from it. We didn't get a yay or nay, but I think it's something the city might want to consider, not just for this plat, but anywhere in the city. We've got some traffic needs. You don't have right now, you don't have a funding mechanism to get done what we need. And we've got 3 plats right now in front of us that are waiting to be approved, that this could possibly impact or depend, the timing. And I don't know, if there's any.
My recollection is that Joplin does have traffic impact fees, do they not?
I'm not aware of that, Mike.
Pretty sure.
I'm not sure though. I don't do subdivisions in Joplin, so I'm not sure. They may.
That is a recollection from a long time ago.
City code allows us to consider traffic when we're approving or disapproving plats, and we know we've got traffic congestion out there, so I think it's something we need to consider. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Steve, or do you guys have any questions?
We really want to, instead of targeting one, which would be kind of hard to do, we really want to be able to apply this to any plat that comes into the city. That would reduce, it does 2 things. It gives us a revenue stream that goes into our streets budget, and it's not going to be such a severe impact on a developer that it totally cuts them off. That way we can spread it out over however many lots. And, for example, I think Sheila Mitchell's probably got in those 3 plats, 250 probably.
Yeah.
So they can spread that cost out over all of those lots instead of just doing it under, one plat that has maybe 30.
And we talked about not collecting that fee until they came in for a building permit, so they wouldn't have to come up with those funds all at once. As they sold lots, they could pay that, so they can add it into the cost of, as they build a house, add $5,000 to the total cost of building a house and selling a lot. It eases the impact to them.
It would just be another line item on there for fees that we collect when we issue a building permit.
So you said 5,000 a lot, which Sheila Mitchell's like, whatever.
Well, I can say whatever.
I know. But that's for a company that builds hundreds of houses at a time. For an individual or something, is that same 5,000 going to be applied to someone who builds 2 or 3
Well,
houses?
it would be for a plat. So a plat would be 4 or more.
Yeah, but he's saying, like, let's say that a builder purchases 5 lots to build 5 homes. Yes, if they come in for a building permit and they own the lot, then they would have to pay that. But it would be, this is something that would be on all future plats going forward. So any that's already been approved, I think I'm speaking right here, probably you wouldn't be able to assess that too.
If the plat's already in.
It's already been, it's a final plat.
I think that would be very difficult to go back
Yeah.
on them. But
And that dollar amount, Rick, we have not really come up with a dollar amount to what it would be. The 5,000 was an example that it was just for that one plat.
It was kind of
It was
just
just an
discussion
example.
rolling.
Yeah.
Well, it's too low if they went.
So are you gonna build a house?
No, I'm going to rent one.
I think the idea has merit. The question that I have is there any mechanism for enforcing use of the construction entrance? The one that was referenced that's been put in that connects there to Peace Church. And from what I observe, I see more what I call residential traffic on it than I do construction traffic. A lot of the construction traffic still uses Marie and goes down Copper Rose to Meadow Lake and continues to aggravate the issue that we're trying to avoid.
So we brought that up too, and something else for Mike to weigh in on was maybe we make it a requirement that all construction traffic use that in the city. I don't know, can we put a police officer out there and say that, start finding any construction trucks that don't use that access? I don't know, I'm throwing it out there as a possibility.
That one I can't. I think we can do something like that, but we'd have to have it on the books.
Yeah.
Very specifically,
And
and how it would actually look, I can't.
I mean, there's some logistics to that, like, okay, what if somebody coming to work on your home that's not going to that plat? Then they have to prove that where they're going, and how does that impact the courts? I don't know, but.
I'm not gonna try to solve that.
Yeah.
I think,
But yeah, I know what you're saying, and I don't know what we can do to force that.
and I suspect part of that particular issue is habit. They have gotten used to the way that they've gone, and probably a lot of them go that way.
I will say Sugar Mitchell said they would, their crews, they would try to enforce, but when they hire subcontractors, they said, we don't really have any way of enforcing that on them.
Wasn't it in writing on one of the Schuber Mitchell plats that they would construct the road to Joplin Street?
Nope, that's why I didn't do it.
Well, I knew one of them,
That's why
we had
that's why
told
we
them
put it-
to, and
that's
they
why we
didn't put it in
That's why
writing.
we put it in writing to go to Peace Church,
That's-
because we did not have it in writing.
I
It was
thought,
It
discussed.
was
Yeah.
discussed.
I knew we had discussed it, but then I thought when they did the next plat, we came back and realized, okay, they're not doing it just off their word, so we have to put it in writing. And
Right,
I
that's what
thought,
we did.
but that's what I meant, I thought that was the Joplin
No,
Street.
no.
But that's why I'm not approving any more plats till we get a resolution that satisfies the city.
Maybe we need a couple signs on Marie and whatever that was over at Southgate that say no construction traffic.
Yeah.
I mean, that'll tell people not to drive their trucks down there. Don't know if it'll work, but I mean, at least they'd be notified.
Yeah.
Anything else? Kurt, anything else on this?
I guess we just need to have some direction on where we're gonna go with it.
Question for Mr. Talley. Do we need to put this into chapter 400 someplace in the subdivision planning process?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll have to go through the planning and zoning, public hearings, the whole, this is exactly where it goes. You have to write it out, you have to make it specific, and, we've got a lot of charges in there. It's in Title 4, and
Okay.
Chapter 400, and this will go
Or-
right in there also.
Or in the building permit portion of the code?
You might enforce it at the time there's an application for a building permit,
Okay.
but you need to have it in Title 4.
So would it be the direction of the council to not approve any plats until we get this resolved?
Kind of need that. Please vote on something like that.
Yeah,
I mean, are they waiting to get these approved? What's the,
They are.
They are.
to go through these planning and zoning.
But they
committees,
know
it
that
takes
we were
time.
going to be bringing this to you guys to talk about. And I think those are all preliminary. None of those are final.
That's right, they're preliminary, so if it's the general census that we think this is something you want to do, I'll go back to them and say, we're going to start the process. It does look like the city wants to enforce or put this in place, and we can continue to work through the preliminary plat approval contingent upon, or the final plat being approved contingent on the traffic impact fee.
There's that time frame in there between preliminary plat and final plat that we can work through our process to get it into code, so that it would be in code before the final plat comes up for approval.
I mean, I guess if they seemed receptive to that, it seems a little like pulling the rug out, like changing it up real quick before they can get their thing in.
what would.
They have plenty of lots that they can build on that this was not going to impact.
But they're the ones that didn't follow through with pushing the road out to Peace Church, didn't follow through to get the road out to Joplin, so.
Right.
They've kind of put themselves in this position.
Anybody have any problems with going forward with this?
I think it's a good idea myself.
No one's objecting to it, so
Okay.
let's do it.
Thank you.
Next is discussion of hooking up water meters on Iron Lane to the city's water system.
Mr. Triplett came to me. He's actually talked to both Jay and myself. He's got some lots out on Iron Lane and Ivy that are not in the city limits. And as you know, it takes you guys' approval to install and provide water service to somebody that is not in the city limits. So, Mr. Triplett.
That's the project. I have surveyed the land into 4 lots, one of which is probably never going to be used, but 2 of the lots are going to be for my sons to build on. And another lot's going to have probably 2-unit or 3-unit dwelling, one of which is going to be occupied by my brother as soon as he retires in Virginia. So pretty much the whole family's going to be on the land. That's what the purpose of this is to get, we're going to need 3 meters coming off of the main that runs along Ivy Road. So I was told there was a main there, and that we have the capability for that. We just need permission to do it.
Can you annex into the city?
We're surrounded by people that are not in the city. We don't have anything touching.
We don't have anything that touches the city limits. Now, it's a possibility that we will, because I've been working with the engineers and the Jasper County engineers about annexing Ivy, which I'm waiting on their engineers to get back to me with that. And if that's the case, then we would have property there. But I have no idea how long that process will take the commissioners.
So can you go over the pros and cons of this for us, please?
For the city, it's a 2.5 times water rate revenue. They also have to pay for the meters and the install and everything, just like everybody else. And then whatever water they use, they'll get billed on. That's where the revenue would come from for it. Cons is you have already set a precedent once in refusing some water meters that were outside city limits. But this is by no means standard. It has always been a case-by-case basis for you guys to do that, for you guys to make that decision, whether it's going to be something for the city that the city wants to do. We do have quite a bit of growth out in that area. I'm not going to say whether this would support that growth or not, but it would be some more growth out in that area.
So from the main to his lots, who pays for that pipe and all that? On the other?
Where's this property?
Right beside Carl Junction Special Road District building to the west. And then between County Road 284,
I think that's right.
Roney.
Yeah.
That far away.
I call it Roney, but it's out there, it's County Road, so.
So definitely in the school district.
Yes.
Well, it looks like we need a motion if we want to do this. Or if you don't want to do it, I guess it won't be a motion.
Or if you want to think about it and move it to the next meeting, whatever you want to do.
You're fine with paying the fees and the higher water rate?
Yeah, I already live on Iron Lane. Iron Lane is on city water,
Okay.
which is outside the city limits. It has been for 47 years when my family's lived there. And we're used to it.
Okay.
It's part of doing business. It's just part of it.
I make a motion, we do it.
Second.
Motion by Brooklyn, second by Holly Levine, that we approve the hooking up of water meters on Iron Lane to the city water system. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 8 in the affirmative. Got our approval. Next is the discussion of irrigating the soccer fields, which we just had a little discussion on earlier.
Yep, I had Jay put together a big project that Public Works would do. To run in a 2-inch water line is what would be sufficient to power that water cannon that we got from the school. So price to do the water line, backflow preventer valves, meter bit, you know, the hydrant, everything to get water up to the middle in between all the fields, say. It's just under $7,000 for that stuff. So $6,966.84. Take a little bit of time because Jay's gonna have to order product in. Probably the meter would be the longest, take the longest to get in, but
What's the size of the water line out there currently?
it's a three-quarter or 5/8 line.
2 inch.
No, there's a 2-inch.
Oh, it's 1 inch to the building,
Yeah,
but we came right off the end of the 2 inch.
so we'd just tap onto the same place except on the side of it for the 2-inch.
And that's no problem for you to get that
No,
work
we
done?
just have to redo the plumbing right there, and change the plumbing around, it'll be 2 inch all the way there.
Is this something the city will pay for the water usage? Or will we offset some of the costs of the PYA?
That's for you guys to decide whether you want to, charge them for the water or ask that they pay for the install of the infrastructure and then we just take care of, however, that's up to you guys to decide that.
We have to show a water loss to the Department of Natural Resources.
We still have to have a meter there and we have to do reading on it, so regardless of who gets billed for it.
Would that be covered under park improvements or could we do it under water?
Water.
Well, it impacts a lot of kids in this town, and I think it's probably a good idea to show that much grace to them because they're gonna be paying taxes on that one of these days. You know, they're gonna be taxpayers that live here.
Hopefully those kids will be, yeah.
Yeah. So I
With the
think that's
200
least we
foot
can
hose,
do.
will that reach all the fields? At that point, that we get the water in?
Yeah.
It
It depends on how far out we can get it. I'll be honest, an inch and a foot is the same to my girl brain. So we have somebody that I'm sure would be more than happy to go out there that doesn't know the difference between an inch and a foot. But yeah, I mean, ideally and I'm sorry, I should say, we're maxing out everything that we can do there. And it's amazing. I mean, we had almost 1,000 kids registered to CJSC last year in 2024. And it is incredible to go out there, but it is an incredible dust bowl when it's dry and a mud pit when it is wet because we just can't grow grass without water. So we tried to train for the fire department and see if they could maybe use some of the water from the pond. You know, I mean, we have an owner of the duplexes over there that's one of our coaches that we hooked up a bunch of hoses and it's just we can't get anything else going out there unless we get this new water line. So
I'm in favor of putting this water line in. I know the field conditions out there are really bad. I've been out there when it's been windy and the dust is blowing in all the kids' eyes and can't see anything. I know with this water source, we'll be able to get the grass in better condition, get the fields in better shape going forward. This soccer touches a lot of kids in town. I think this is a good idea.
I'd make the motion that we do that. Motion by David Pyle, second by Carl Wolford, that we.
Walter.
Oh, was it Walter?
Yep.
Oh, God.
Sounds good.
Two nice voices right there.
Who made the motion?
Walter.
Walter, yeah, I'm sorry.
Carol's.
Motion by Walter Hayes, second by Carol Wolford, that we put in the irrigation line and meter for the soccer fields at Lakeside Park. All those in favor, please signify by your right hand. 8 in the affirmative. Let's go do that then. Good luck, Jay. Next is approval of a maintenance agreement with CDL Electric.
This was, told you about on last meeting, bid sheets in there. For that, CDL was low bid on it. And so I am recommending them, and the maintenance agreement was in your packet this time. They were $600 cheaper than the next one, up, if I remember right.
And this is maintenance on the,
Yeah, this is maintenance on all the generators that we have around town, on the water wells, this building, the PD, and the one we use for, we've got 2 on lift stations, so.
Make a motion, we approve the maintenance agreement with CDL Electric.
Second.
motion by David Powell, second by Roger Spencer, that we approve the maintenance agreement with CDL Electric. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 8 in the affirmative. That maintenance agreement is approved. Next is approval of the bids for the storage shed at Public Works. This is what we all agreed we would do for the CJ cultivators. I believe Jay got us 3 quotes.
Yep, he did. I thought I put him in here.
Yep.
Okay. And the price did change a little bit from, when we first talked about it, it was $7,500. And you get one from Trimline Bonds for $7,850. So recommending Trimline Barnes for that one.
Motion to approve the bid from Trendline Barnes.
Second.
Motion by Holly Levine, second by David Bob, to approve the shed at Public Works from Trimline Barnes. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 8 in the affirmative. Go ahead and do that then. Thank you very much. Okay, next are ordinances. Or an ordinance, this will be a second reading of the ordinance. We did first reading last time. Renewing our franchise agreement with Spire, Missouri Incorporated.
Move to put this ordinance on second reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by LaDonna Allison, Brett Spencer, to put this ordinance on second reading by title only. Will clerk please read the title?
An ordinance of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri, raising the franchise to operate a natural gas distribution system within the city to Spire, Missouri.
Discussion.
We have to have this on file with the city clerk for 30 days to allow the public to file petitions to protest this. Have any petitions been filed? And the city stands in a position where they can finally approve this, and it has to be done before the term, which is, I believe, the first of May. Is that correct?
Just got my letter from today. They're asking for a 14% increase.
I got my letter yesterday.
Make a motion, we put the ordinance on final passage.
Second.
Motion by David Powell, second by Lady Levine, put this ordinance on final passage. This will be a hand vote to vote electronic voting. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. In the affirmative, please vote electronically. 8 yeses and none opposed. The franchise agreement is approved. Next is long-term project report. Any questions for Steve or on the long-term projects report?
Pretty much did a rework on both reports, got rid of projects that were completed over the past year and got new ones on there after the budget meetings and everything on there. So There is a lot of new information on there.
Any discussion? Any comments? All right then, I'll move along to the treasurer's report. Any comments on the treasurer's report? For discussion.
One thing on the treasurer's report, Holly asked about it at the last meeting, was the annual report from the treasurer. Pretty easy to do. Mary Beth will be able to do that, and really it will be a compilation of what you get, for a treasurer's report every month anyway. So and that will be in June that one comes out.
Anything else? Any comments? Very well, then we'll move along to department reports. First one to a PD. You guys probably saw that we've had a request. Right, you guys probably know about the 6-year-old boy down in Houston that was made an honorary Secret Service agent. And what they're trying to do is, you saw Mark's email, I think, was in the packet there on that. And so I think it's a great idea for the kid that's really fighting a terrible cancer. So I would like to appoint an honorary police officer by the name of RJ DJ Daniel to the Carl Junction Police Department.
So be it.
You gonna approve my appointment?
Yes,
Yeah, you make that a motion?
I'm making it a motion that we
Second.
approve it.
Motion by Roger Spencer, second by Walter Hayes to approve my appointment of DJ Daniel as an honorary police officer with the Carl Junction Police Department. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. In the affirmative, it's done. Okay, next, Public Works. Any comments about Public Works?
I wanted to say the pavilion and the concession stand at Country Club look great. I love the paint job, it looks really nice. Thank you. And I was out at Lakeside today and I saw the rest of the path was completed. Thank you for that, that looks wonderful as well.
Now you go in phase 2, Jay. You can go in phase 2 and get some more of the path done out there. If we could just get it done all the way to, what is it, Sunnybrook? Then we can keep the golf carts off the city streets and have all those people out there just drive on that path in the parks. Make it a little bit safer for everybody. Anything else for Public Works? Very well then. I'll go to the committee reports. Budget and Finance.
Nothing to report at this time.
Any comments for Budget and Finance? Code and Nuisance? Rick?
Nothing at this time, sir.
Anything for them? Comments? Very well. Human Resources, Roger?
No, not at this time.
Alrighty, anything for Roger? Public Facilities and Planning, David?
I just follow on our previous discussion about internet service to city parks. I don't know what committee structures will look like after our reorganization, but Holly mentioned the idea of maybe that being a topic taken up by committee, and I think that would be a good topic for further discussion with the Public Facilities Committee.
Very well. Anything else?
I don't know who does the public build or the utilities or buildings use the, are they in charge of the community center and the fitness center?
Facilities.
Yeah, Public Facilities, yeah.
They've got the new TVs in there now and they are really nice.
Good. Anything else? Economic Development, Holly.
Yeah, Resale Strategies came to town last week. We're following a lot of leads with them and following up on a lot of properties, so
It's a good meeting with them.
that's all. Thank you.
Anything else for Holly? Very well, and then unfinished business. Carol?
The things.
Walter?
No, sir.
David?
No, sir.
Donna?
No.
I have nothing. Roger?
Nothing.
Rick?
No, sir.
Bob?
Nothing.
Holly?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Talley? Lena? Crystal? Steve?
No, sir.
Jay?
Does it?
Mark?
Yeah, under
Mr. Lauber's long-term report. It has the surveillance system for PD and parks and everything. You know, we started this with Mid-Central last year. This year they did the door fobs to get us in and out. As of last week, the camera in the interview room has failed, so it's not recording any interviews, interrogations, or anything. That was done, I believe, by S&S Computers. Put in that originally. They came out, said it'll be more to fix it than to replace it entirely. So we need to look at what we're going to do. If we're just going to replace that system itself, because we really do need it. State mandated that interviews are recorded. So I just want to throw that out there. That's something we need to be looking at relatively quickly to get that done.
And that, part of that system would be the server that system used, would also be the server that all of the parks and everything would tie into. So it that's the central location for all of that stuff when it comes in.
And if we got with Mid-Central on that?
We have one quote for them. It's old enough that I need to have them redo it and see what it would cost.
Okay, I feel like it shouldn't cost anything if we just installed this system and now it's not working.
No.
No, this is
the
old
old
system.
system. This is the old surveillance system, not the key fob system.
Oh, okay,
That's why we got a contract with Mid-Central to try and update us with everything.
right. So is that part of our,
Yes.
it's just too old now?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. All right, thanks.
Anything else, Mark?
Nope, that's it.
All right, we move along. This is the approval of the certified election results. Everyone has seen the election results. We need a motion to approve the election results.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Don Allen, second by Walter Hayes to approve the election results as presented. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. In the affirmative, the election results have been approved. Before we get to the next one, I just want to say, since this is my last few minutes here, I really want to thank all the people in the public that come up and use the public forum that have done that, because they, we may not like to hear a lot of stuff they have to say, but I think it's very important because it brings our attention to things that need to be done. And I want to thank everybody for doing that, and please keep doing that. I want to thank the police department for keeping the city safe. I really do. I think you did a great job. I want to thank all the city employees who've done a great job while I've been in here, and all the council members that are present and past that have been on the council. I've been there. I think you guys have done a really good job. And I especially want to thank our city attorney for his sage advice and keeping us out of trouble.
Even if he is getting older.
That's right. And with that, we'll now have Sonny Die, out with the old and in with the new. So with all of the newly elected people, please get with the city clerk.
Let's hand out
Before you do that,
some participation trophies
participation trophies.
for you guys. I'm just gonna leave them in the box. For Mark, he was an alderman from 2006 to 2017, and then mayor from 2017 to tonight, 2025.
God, that's a long time. Thank
That was
you.
a long time. And for Rick, an alderman, he's been an alderman for Ward 2 from 2018 to 2025. And LaDonna, as a boy mom and participation trophy, so that's
I kind of have horrible moral objections to
there
it.
you go. Ward 4 alderman, 2015 to 2025, and also part of that was as mayor pro tem.
Thank you.
Okay, now out with the old and with the new. Will all the newly elected people please come forward and take the oath of office from our city clerk?
Don't forget your name tags if you want them, and
I'm taking the gavel.
you can have them locked too.
Oh, I can have the block too? What do I need a block?
Keep your grandkids under control.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Don't forget your time clock there.
Oh, no. I'll leave this for Mike. Really nice deal, Mike. It's a
Thank you, Mark.
five-
Thank you for the years you served. Appreciate it.
Well, I know you're doing a good job too. This is a 5-minute timer that Bill McGuire got us for the public forum.
Thank you. This is my oath of office, State of Missouri, County of Jasper, City of Carl Junction. I, Michael Moss, solemnly swear that I possess all the qualifications for the office of mayor as prescribed by law. I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Missouri. The provisions of all laws of this state affecting cities of this class and the ordinances of the city of Carl Junction, and faithfully demean myself in office, so help me God.
I, James Shanks, do solemnly swear that I possess all the qualifications for the office of Alderman, Ward 2, as prescribed by law. That I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Missouri, the provisions and laws of this state affecting cities of this class and the ordinances of the city of Carl Junction, and faithfully demean myself in office. So help me God.
Please, move on.
I, Nita Francis, do solemnly swear that I possess all the qualifications for the office of Alderman Ward 4 as prescribed by law, that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Missouri, the provisions of all laws of this state affecting cities of this class, and the ordinances of the city of Carl Junction, and faithfully demean myself in office. So help me God.
Take a seat on the end there, please. Nita, please take a seat on the end. Thank you.
I, Holly Levine, do solemnly swear that I possess all the qualifications for the office of Alderman, Ward 1, as prescribed by law, that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Missouri, the provisions of all laws of this state affecting cities of this class and ordinances of the city of Carl Junction, and faithfully demean myself in office. So help me God.
I, David Pyle, do solemnly swear that I possess all the qualifications for the office of Alderman, Ward 3, as prescribed by law, that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Missouri, the provisions of all laws of this state affecting cities of this class, and the ordinances of the city of Carl Junction, and faithfully demean myself in office. So help me God.
Welcome, everybody. It's been 8 years since I sat in this seat. And first order of business is electing Mayor Pro Tem. I open up the board for nominations.
I nominate Holly Levine for Mayor Pro Tem.
Second.
Anybody else?
I nominate David Powell.
At this time, we'll call for the vote then. If there's no further people for Mayor Pro Tem. All those in favor of Holly Levine, please raise your right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, I think Holly, I think you got it. Welcome.
Thank you.
So we got a new Mayor Pro Tem as Holly Levine. Okay. New business. This is where we kind of round table. We start at one end and go to the other if you have any new business.
Anita, I will start with you.
I do not at this time.
Okay, thank you. Holly?
I'd just like to congratulate our new people. Welcome. Congratulations to our new mayor, Mike. I hope that we can all work together and go forward with our city. And
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else? Anything
that's all.
else?
Thank you.
Bob?
Nothing, not good.
Roger?
Only one thing, sir. I was on the Human Resource Committee. I do have the new evaluation sheets and the new employees handbook. Went through it, and if I'm not on it, I will turn it over to whoever it is.
Thank you. New business with me, and I'll divert it down to the end. I'll let Dr. Pyle, new business.
Nothing, sir. Nothing.
Walter?
No, sir.
Went blank.
Carol.
Carol?
No, sir.
And it's James or Jim?
Either one's fine with me.
Any new business with you?
Pleasure to be here. No new business. Thank you.
Jay, any new business?
No, sir.
Sorry, I jumped over. Mark?
Nope.
Elena? Crystal?
No, sir.
Mr. Lawver?
No, sir?
Mr. Talley?
No, sir.
Okay, back to me now. I know there is committee assignments. We lost LaDonna as chair on the budget finance, and we lost code nuisance to Rick Flynn. I would appreciate if you all, that human resource, Roger Spencer is chair, public facilities, Dr. Pyle is chair, and economic development, Holly Levine, if you would stay as chair as the two others, I need to talk to some people and see about placing those committees and keeping, but I would like for you all to stay on as head of those committees, if it's at your pleasure.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. It's great to see this crowd here tonight. There hadn't been a crowd like this since we had the Barbara CID meetings, and they used to be fulfill the whole house. I would like to have a discussion tonight about how we could put the swimming pool back online. I would like to see the swimming pool put back online. I realize it's going to take painting of the sandblasting, painting of the walls, and epoxy paint. We're probably going to have to buy some chemicals, and then we're going to have to hire some people. But I'd like to hear what the discussion from the council members are. Anita, any discussion on the swimming pool in Center Creek Park?
Not at this time.
Okay. Holly?
Yeah, is any of that stuff gonna work? I mean, we filled the pool last year to test and the whole basin is cracked.
I disagree with that analysis. The reason I say that is I live across the street from it. I've watched, there's no major cracks in that foundation, and I think it is in the drain. And the simple solution is, okay, let's fill it up to the deep end, put a rubber mat over that drain that's been there since 1973, that's got all the rust and calcium on it, and isolate, see if it's a drain. We'll know real quick if we can put it back online, if it's in that drain. If it's in that drain, then we have to look at getting somebody in to repair it. Go out for bids on that. We might not get it back online till July, but I would still like to see that pool opened up for the young adults and children and junior high people on this side of town. They don't have an opportunity to have a neighborhood pool like the Barbrook subdivision. And a lot of people in Barbrook have their own private pools. There's none on this side of town that I know of. If they are, they're stand-up pools that they've placed. But there's a lot of kids that walk to that pool. Like I said, I lived 38 years in front of it. And I would like to see another professional analysis, or us to fill it up and go that. That's my feeling on it. Bob, what do you feel on it?
I think that if you put some water in there, and probably need to get a plumbing company or something to run a camera down there and see if there's cracks and where it's leaking at, because we had people look at it and is gonna be like 700,000 or 1,000 or $1 million to fix it. So until we find out for sure.
I don't agree with that assessment, but that's my personal opinion on it. But, like I said, that pool has been there since 1973, 74, and that drain is open for 9 months of the year, closed down for 3 months of the year, and all the calcium, all the rust. To me, in my brain, that's where your problem is. Like I said, we can do what I just said about putting a mat over it, fill it to the deep end, and also put a dye in there. That will also trace where that water hopefully is going. Dr. Pyle?
What you propose there doesn't cost much. I think the only other option would be additional consulting, which is gonna have an expense to it.
I agree with that, but I think we're gonna find out it's in that master drain. Walter?
I don't have a problem with looking at it and seeing if there's a possible low-cost solution there. The pool, a lot of people would like to have the pool open. I would like to see it open. I'd like to see a longer-term solution to the pool because the pool is 50 years old. But if there's something that we can do low cost to have it in service, I'm in favor of that.
I understand, it's a Band-Aid effect till we go back to this bond issue and people decide what we're gonna do with that bond. Whether we add on to this building, build a swimming pool, build a softball, baseball complex. I understand that. Carol?
I would like to try just a fix to see, but if they have to go in there and do more to it than that, then we've got to bring it up to the new codes from this day and age and not the ones from 50 years ago. That would get expensive.
It's grandfathered in. If we change any of the dimensions of the pool or cut the sides or anything like that, then we lose the grandfather exemption, and then we have to go to zero entrance, and that will be expensive. But I still think we can fill that deep end up and put a rubber mat and some dye in there, and we find out real quick whether that's a solution or not. But then we can hire consultants and see if I'm praying that it's that drain. I'm hoping that's it, because I don't want to exhaust all ways to where we get back. James, for you.
Well, yeah, I live real close to you, and so of course, I know a lot of people would love to see the pool reopened. I'm not a pool guy. I probably didn't pick that up, but I don't know if we're all pool people here or not. But I think for me, I need to know, A, what would it cost if we do have to fill it up and get rid of it, which I don't want to do. But B, if you go to the doctor and you don't like what they tell you, so apparently we've been to a pool doctor and they said $1 million, and we didn't like that answer, right? Feel like you go to another doctor, you get a second opinion if you don't like the first answer you get. I don't think it's terribly wise to not like your doctor's first opinion and then just decide what you want to do anyway. I think that's a little bit dangerous. Your solutions, I think, could work because they're low cost. I still want to see a professional do it. I don't think you and I need to crawl down to the bottom of the pool and start filling it up. So I don't know what the cost would be for even to do your proposal, but I would love to see it reopened. I think the community would love it. I don't think they'd love to spend $1 million.
I understand. Like I said, this is just another avenue of checking. I would like approval to have the Public Works fill it up and look at some kind of a mat or something to go over that drain. Because in your hydraulics, that water pressure forces down and will seal, maybe not 100%, but maybe 90% of it. But I would like to see that pool put back. If not, then I'll give up the ghost and we'll move on. We'll do something, decide something else with that pool. But I think there should be another opinion, and I don't agree that it's $1 million fix. That's a brand new pool. And I think, yes, it could be just putting a little Band-Aid on a pig for now, but 3 years from now, that bond issue comes due, and the public needs to decide what we're going to do with that money, whether we build onto this building, ball fields. I mean, that final decision hadn't been made, but I would like to see that pool put back online if it's not. So what is the consensus of the council then?
I mean, if you want to give it a go, I think it's a good idea, but we did fill it last summer.
I know, and I watched it drop
the 4 feet in about 3 days. But there was not anything done to isolate that master drain. There's some other pop-off drains in there that could be where the problem is, and that will be expensive. But I would like to see at least try one more time to maybe put that pool back online for the children and young adults on this side of the city. Like I said, yes, it is old. So Holly spoke, anybody else?
If we don't try it, we'll never know.
Well, I appreciate it.
Oh, good. Yeah, I think we should.
Okay. Then Steve, I direct you to direct the Public Works. I don't know if there's even a rubber mat that will go over, but something to isolate that master drain. Now, I understand the pop-off drains through there, that's a safety feature. If somebody gets sucked down on them, then it's a pop-off drain. It could be in that. If it is, that will be expensive. But if it's that master drain, then we hire a plumber or somebody to come in and give us an estimate, 3 bids, and then we bring it back to y'all. Thank you, I appreciate it. I would also like to ask the city attorney to research what the powers and state statutes of the mayor is and what the powers of the city administrator is. I know what our ordinances have been changed, and I went through this same thing 20 years ago with Joe Barfield, and what the state statutes 20 years ago said could have changed. But it was my understanding the mayor had sole direction of the police department, not the city administrator. But like I said,
Is that the primary?
that's one of the, but I know some ordinances have been changed and put in place. Does that supersede state statutes on what's allowed to the mayor? Because I am the responsible for lots of things here in the city, ultimately.
Mayor, as you well know, it's been a few years since
Yes, it
we
has.
went down that road. And we tried to do everything per the state statute with the codes that we adopted. But if I'm not mistaken, that was maybe 20 years ago?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And my memory, and I don't profess to know what those statutes say now.
I used to have copies of it in my files. I went through my files and I couldn't find those.
Be
Like I
happy-
said, they would be 20 years old.
I'll be happy to take a look and report.
Thank you. But I'd like to know what, because it was my understanding that the mayor had direct supervision over the city administrator, and the city administrator had day-to-day operations for the city.
I think there are options.
Okay?
That's what I think. And I think the statutes allow options.
Okay?
But that's speaking from ancient memories that I don't ask you to rely upon. I will take a look, Mayor, and report.
You and I go back about 25, 26 years. Lots of things I remember, and I've slept since then. I've had COVID since then. And some of my memory, I've had COVID fog that I'm trying to, like I said, going back through and looking, and I couldn't find anything. Of course, I've had a lot on my mind besides becoming mayor, and this is if my wife will allow me. Her mother passed away yesterday, and we've been going through that, so I haven't been able to do what I need to do. Sorry, Patty. But so my mind's been going 100 miles an hour trying, and that's about all I have. Does anybody else have anything before the council?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion adjourned by Dr. Pyle, second by Walter Hayes. All those in favor of adjourning, please raise your right hand. 8 in the affirmative, we are adjourned. Thank you.